and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint donuts, so let's do it! Okay, so to start, I'm just going to go through all my materials. I have my Arches watercolor paper, my Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors, and I have my Princeton snap brushes. I have a size 6, which I'll probably be using most, and a 10, and I also have a 2. Okay, so today we're painting some donuts because 1, they're delicious, and 2, why not, right? So, first, we're going to start off with just sketching out our donuts. We're going to make it fairly easy. All you have to do is draw a circle. Really, that's about it. And it doesn't even have to be a perfect circle because donuts are not perfect circles. So you can do as many as you like. We're going to do a couple here. Just a rough circle. Okay, so now that we have our donuts, we are going to draw the center of the donuts, the circles. And you don't want it too big. And again, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And now we're just going to do the outline of the icing, okay? So all you're going to do is you're just going to kind of do curvy lines, touching the circle, coming in and out, just like that. So you're going to see a bit of the dough of the donut. All right, so just erase any lines that maybe you don't like or you want to fix, and just try and make it generally a little bit lighter, just so you don't see it underneath your painting. If you'd like to use watercolor pencils, so when you add water, they just turn into watercolor, that could work too. But right now I'm just gonna use my pencil. Okay. So we're going to do a couple different kinds of donuts, and then I'm just going to do the rest in fast motion so you don't have to sit through all of them. But to start, we're going to go and do the donut dough part. So I'm going to take my burnt umber and I'm going to mix it with a bit of yellow ochre to get this kind of like light yellowy brown. And I'm just going to go around my donut, painting that part where you would see the actual dough. And my son is waking up. No, no, no. I just turned the volume down. He's fine. It is not time to wake up yet. Okay, so just going around with a light wash of this color. And then you can add a bit more brown, a bit of a darker brown, and just touch part of that dough. Like that. Okay, just to get a little bit of darkness in there too. And then around the center as well. Okay, so now that the base part of the donut is done, we're going to move on to the icing, which is, in my opinion, the fun part. So I'm going to start off with that traditional fun pink confetti icing. So I'm going to take my permanent rose and I'm just going to do a light wash on the icing here. Just cover that whole area with a light pink wash. Probably grabbed a bigger brush for this part. Okay, so now that you have that light wash of the pink down, you're gonna make sure that whole area is wet. And then you're gonna take more pink, a darker shade of the pink, so more pink or more paint than water, and you're gonna go around the middle. And you're gonna go around the edge. Okay. So it leaves a nice light highlight ring around the middle. So then I'm gonna wash off my brush completely and dry it. So it's a clean brush, and I'm just going to pick up some of that color in the middle, just so it's a nice highlight while kind of blending out the edges of this shadow, just so it's not like such a harsh line. Okay, and as it starts to dry, the lines will fade a bit more, so it won't look as harsh. And if you really want, you can go back in with some darker paint, stick in some more of that shadow right around the edges, because you want to give the illusion that that part of the icing, right, like a donut is like this, and then the sides like curve down. So the part that's curving down the most would be the most shaded, and then the top of the icing would be the highlight. So you want to give that rounded effect by shading, if that makes sense, hopefully. It'd be helpful if I just had a real donut here. If anyone wants to go grab me one, I love donuts. Okay. Okay. So before we do any kind of sprinkles or confetti, we gotta let that completely dry. So now I am just going to do another one over here. I'm gonna do a different pattern just to show you a different option of what kind of donut you can do. So this one is gonna have like a squiggly icing line. So I'm gonna take my pink and I'm just going to do an icing pattern on it. A typical icing drizzle. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, this is making me really hungry for a donut. Okay. Like that. And then with a smaller brush, if you can, you're gonna grab just a bit more paint and you're just gonna make a darker bit underneath. So like that icing has a shadow a bit. Now, if you have too much water or paint on your brush, it's just gonna run all into the paint. So just keep that in mind if that does happen. Or if there's too much water on that little squiggly bit already, the darker paint will just all run together. Like that. It's all good though. Just to give a bit of shadow and dimension to that squiggly part of the icing. Okay, and now I'm gonna do the same for the rest of the donuts. I'm gonna do some different colors. Actually, I'll quickly show you how to make like a white icing donut, because you're not gonna just leave your paper white. So I'm gonna take Payne's Gray, or you could take a little bit of like a light blue. Still had some pink on my brush. Okay, just a really, really, really light wash of Payne's Gray. And you're gonna cover that whole bit. I'm actually gonna use my bigger brush so I can cover more ground quickly. All right, so really light wash. Like barely can see it kind of wash. Of a gray or a light blue. Cover that whole icing area. I have a bit of gray and blue mixed together just because it was on my palette already. And then you're gonna do the same thing that you did with the pink one here. You're gonna take a bit more of the paint so it's a bit darker and shade, drop in some of that darker color around the edges in the center. I'm just tapping. Okay. That. Gonna wash off my brush completely, dry it, pick up some of the color in the middle. And I'm just gonna blend this out with my clean, dry brush. Okay, even if you wanna make it a bit lighter for the highlights in the middle, you can always take your paper towel and pick up some of that color too, even though there's not really too much color, but you want that highlight to be as white as possible without being extreme white. So I'm just gonna take my shadow color again, just add a bit more shadow. And maybe just on one side, okay? Like that, and that's gonna be like our white icing donut, okay? So now I'm gonna paint the other ones, and then we'll come back when everything's dry. Okay, so now that's done, I can do some of the sprinkles on this one, and really you're just, you know, creating sprinkles, so. Going in different directions. Just use like more paint to make some of those lighter colors on top of the pink shine. Like, oh my gosh, my brain's gone. It's gone. Bye. You know what I mean? Come through. Because watercolor is transparent. If you use more paint, it will be a bit more opaque, is what I was trying to say, and it was not coming out. Oh man. Okay. Maybe I'll do it with some purple. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that for a second. I'll come back to that. I'm gonna do the chocolate icing on this one. So I'm gonna take my brown, my burnt umber, and I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna try to show you how to do the highlighted bit on a donut that has a design like this already on it. Because you still wanna get that depth and that shadow. So really you're just trying to get the darker paint around the edges. So it's good to go in with kind of a light wash to begin. It's okay, that's dark there. I'm gonna go in darker after. Mm-hmm. I just had to walk away for a second because I forgot I was cooking something. And I had to go and turn it off. So I'm just re-wetting the area. This is why I shouldn't be multitasking. Okay, and now you're gonna go in with your darker chocolate color. So I'm gonna mix some burnt umber and some black to get a darker chocolate color. And I'm just gonna go around the edges, just like the others. Around the center. Okay, and also we want to make a bit of a shadow for this icing. So underneath the icing to make it a bit more 3D. That's all you really do. Oops, too much black. Just around the edges. Just cleaning up this side. I'm just going to clean off my brush, take up some of that color so we have a bit of highlight, blend it out a bit, and there you go. That is your chocolate donut. So you can do the sprinkles for these and then that chocolate fudge thing on there, and you can even do the chocolate one on there. Now, the ones with the sprinkles, what you're going to do once those are dry, which that wasn't, it's okay. You are going to take a bit of your pink, and if you have like a gray or something, you can mix it with a bit of your gray, because you're going to create shadows underneath the sprinkles. I think that's going to be too dark. Just to make them stand out a bit. Okay, that is too dark. Just a slight shadow color. So a really light wash of this. Okay, and you're just going to go underneath those sprinkles to create a shadow, and it will make it look a bit more 3D when it's all done. Okay, and then once you finish the shadows on that, what you can do if you have some white ink, I have Dr. Paige Martin's Bleed Proof White ink. It is my favorite ink. But if you have white gouache, that can work. Even if you have like the white watercolor, I never use it, but if you have that, or even like a white gel pen, take it and just create a little bit of a highlight on some of those sprinkles. And also on the highlight the highlighted pink part around, so you have the dark areas and the light areas. You can also just create just a line there of highlight. Same thing on the chocolate one, as well on the pink icing around. Okay, and it just adds a little bit of extra something to it. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the rest of these. Also at the end, if you feel like you need it, you can always take your dark brown and just like do a bit of an outline around your donuts if you feel like you want to. Not a harsh dark line, but just maybe a bit more of a shadow. Like that. And there you go. So now you can watch me in fast motion finish the rest of these up. Okay, and last but not least, just to make these donuts pop off the page a little, I'm just going to take a little bit of my Payne's Gray and I'm just going to create just a bit of a shadow underneath the donuts. It just makes them pop off the page just a bit, and it's just a very light wash. So under there and under there. And you can make it just a little tad bit darker, closer to the donut. And there you go. There are your cute half a dozen donuts. You can do them in any colors. You can make a card out of them. I do not know what I'd do without you. Something cute like that. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for more. What are you doing? That's my paintbrush. You're gonna paint my face?